mass, you know what I mean, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
You don't need that anymore as the body starts to get old, right?
Yep.
So, but there is a thinking that we can reverse that.
The aging process. You mean consciousness or physically?
Physically.
Really?
Yeah,
How many people do that?
Or something. I'm saying this is something that is discussed in these
Agent texts and that.
in these circles.
Yeah,
in
circles.
These areas. And they have been for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've spent 60 years trying to read about all of this stuff. Right. So what's coming out now is stuff I probably never talked about. But that appears to be part of the process. All right. So I mean, now this is really radical ground territory that we're on now, because you couldn't, if you went up and down this, if you went around this whole block, you'd be lucky to find one person could actually sit in on this conversation.
Spiritual intelligence. Yeah.
You certainly wouldn't find any Catholics or sort of religious people. You know, it's very rare, you know, the stuff that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
But it's out there because people like Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, it's opened up this whole can of worms now, all right? And because medicine and science is finally backing up what the teachings have been for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So the teachings have now got credibility. They're not just myths. The science and medicine are backing them up.
Yeah.
Especially the whole quantum thing, all right?
Yep.
And the field and everything, all right? Collapsing away from. It's all just totally supporting, putting a new light on the old teachings. Right? Oh, okay, well that makes sense now because of what we understand now. So, but there's still, you probably find quite a few young people now, because of YouTube, because of the internet, that could get in on this conversation, but they wouldn't be able to have the depth.
The depth, that's it.
You and I can
exactly.
put it together. I mean,
I noticed that.
We could have the conversation that you and I could actually learn something from. That's why we're having this conversation right now. That's why I'm having it. Because I might possibly learn something. Because it's not over. Alright? And why take a long journey when you could...
It's right
there's nowhere that you don't
nowhere to go.
Need to.
It's right in front of you.
Well, it's right there. There's nowhere to go. We are sort of
in forever.
timeless and eternal.
Forever is now happening.
We're a little bundle of energy. We're not locked into a time frame and a time scale and okay, well now it's over, it's 5 o'clock and it's 10 o'clock and that's it, I'm not doing this anymore. We're not, that's in the head, but that affects the body. What's in the head affects the body, because the body follows what's in the head.
Yeah.
And medical science, through Lipton and Dispenza, have now proved that causal link between what's in the head and what's in the body. They've proved it, okay, that the thoughts produce chemicals which then go into the body. So if you've got negative thoughts, you're producing negative chemicals which are causing a negative response in your cells. It's just
laws of physics.
Simple. You know, if you've got a down depressive thought going on, like it's all over, well, that's producing certain chemicals.
You're right.
All right, cortisol and various other chemicals. Okay, and that is going into every cell. We've got billions of cells, and all of them are getting this negative chemical, this downgrade, shut down,
Wow.
you know, like wind down, you know, be quiet, die. Every cell is getting that, all right?
Scary.
But when you have different thoughts, like, wow, the bus trip tomorrow,
Yeah,
you
like
get
a child.
different
Bus trip.
chemicals,
Yeah.
different dopamine and stuff like that.
Dopamine.
Then that goes into every cell, and that message is grow, live, shine, you know, power goes into the cells, right? From those chemicals. This is what Dispenza and Lipton have proved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what fucking ancient Egypt, know yourself.
Yeah.
It all is mental. Okay? Jesus, the kingdom is within. There's nothing, we already have it, but we have to lose a lot of stuff. We have to lose certain understandings that are producing certain chemicals
yeah.
which are keeping us this way.
You talked about dopamine.
Call it what?
Dopamine.
Dopamine.
Well, what would you say about the beautiful aspect of high-level sexuality to release those dopamines? Where religion will crucify you.
No, that's not. I'm not. It's nothing to what I'm.
But that does release dopamine.
No, it's like that's an external thing. I'm talking about an
internal dopamine release.
An internal
that's high level.
understanding.
Oh,
Okay,
I see. That's interesting.
That's not created by your head, but created by your heart.
Wow.
All right.
So you can release good chemicals.
Once you have it, you've changed. See, I know you and I don't have it because we haven't changed. See, that's the thing.
That's interesting.
The guru takes his 1,000-mile journey and finally understands that he could have known that back at the beginning, but he understands that he has changed, right? He's not the same person.
No.
And I suppose, and that ties into why we came here in the first place, because obviously, if it was going to be different when we were, as soon as we were born, we would know everything, right? We have all the wisdom and everything, all right? But obviously, that's kept from us, okay? With this memory thing,
yeah,
that's kept from us. There must be a reason for that. To take that journey, all right? Now, I think you and I, we've done our 1,000 miles, don't you think?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? We've done our 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
It's time to understand that we could have had that back there, but in this reality, in this dimension, in this continuum, we came here for a reason. And obviously, everyone comes here to make that journey.
Well, we're already spiritual and we come here to have a physical experience.
Yeah.
In the body, not leave the body.
We don't have understanding when we're, first born, when we're back kids. We have to make some kind of journey. We don't remember where we came from, right?
No.
So that seems to be a part of coming here. So, okay, but now at our age, you and me, we could say to ourselves, well, we've done our 1,000 miles, all right? I think we can start looking at that. When you're 20, 30, you've still got, experiences, and I mean, some people get kind of, it's like, there are so many different takes on it, like the Tibetans, for instance, they believe that when a certain kid is born, they know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Dalai Lama sort of thing.
They know we wait for him. So there's a trillion bits of noise, trillion dots. Okay. But what does that mean for you and me? What is the ancient esoteric Tibetan teaching? What does that mean to you and me right now that they believe that they can spot the next Dalai Lama coming through and They can transmigrate to other souls and everything.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you and me? Not to that bloke out there, but to you and me.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, good question. The answer to the question is the question.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty interesting.
What I'm trying to do here is challenge this whole notion
Yeah.
within myself that it's over. Okay? Because my mind knows that I've been here for 66 years, right? And it can see all the other people that have been here for 66 years. So it knows what it's supposed to be thinking, you know what I mean? But it's like there's nothing like that going on. So what I'm trying to do here right now is to just create an awareness, because when we're born, we aren't born with wisdom, but we're born with awareness. Right? We're totally aware of everything that's going on around us. Right? But we don't have any understanding, but we have full 100% awareness of where we are, and we're fully present. Like the new baby is fully present. It doesn't have any distractions in its mind.
No, it's not. No.
But none.
Yeah.
Okay? It's fully present and just absorbing all the information in its environment. Alright?
Yeah.
Now that's what you and I, that's the presence that we need to have. And in one way, in one sense, you know, you could relate that to you've got to become as a little child to enter the kingdom of heaven. Okay, well, you could look at it like that, right? You've got to have that kind of presence of a little child. Without any of the distractions of the head stuff, but just an awareness, right, that you are a part of something. Whereas as soon as we start to get understanding, we start to get separation. Oh, okay, I'm separate from the world.
Yeah.
This is happening to me. I'm in this, and these things are happening to me. Or I'm doing this to these things, right? Separation, right? That's separate from me. These lines are being made clear to me. But that's when the persona starts to develop, the mask, the personalities, the habits, the traits, okay? Responding to the idea of separation, because the idea of separation is unnatural.
And religion teaches separation.
Yeah, and because it's unnatural, we have to kind of somehow make this unnatural thing work. So we develop certain habits and traits, personalities.
Yeah.
All right, and so we need to clear that. All right, now this is where, at this point in the conversation, this is where you would lose 98% of your audience, okay? Because this is where they're all going to say, it's too hard. See ya. Gone, right? You've probably got one or two people left in the room, right? And this is what you and I are up against. This is why people don't do it because
Too
it's
hard.
so hard. It's too hard. Alright?
And can be lonely
It's just hard.
to get there.
Hard takes all that in, okay?
Yeah.
It's just too hard. So they don't. And it's why you and I haven't done it. Okay?
Even for
But
us.
what you and I have to ask ourselves is it over? You know, are we never going to do that? Is that it? We're just going to take a cruise, go play golf? You know what I mean? In that mindset sort of thing, I go, well, this is what I am now, this is what I've been all this time, and it's just, I'm not going to change, it's too hard. Now that we know this, right, see, I suppose this is where ignorance of bliss comes in, right? But
Ignorance is
it's
bliss,
a
yeah.
false bliss.
Yeah.
It's a false bliss. The
Yeah.
ignorance bliss thing is a false bliss.
Right.
Easily. We're looking for the bliss that lasts. Okay? Not false bliss. Right? Not the bliss of ignorance, but the bliss of understanding. Okay? So we have to ask ourselves, is it over? And if not, well then we need to know what our next step is. And it's got, and for you, okay, in this case for you, it's got nothing to do with Peter, Jelena, nothing to do with anything.
Yeah,
Stir,
it's deeper than
nothing
that.
to do with any of that.
Yeah.
No, your mum, the church, Jelena, Stella, anything, nothing to do
Yep.
with anything of
Yeah.
that.
Or
okay?
exes, anything.
Anything, like property, money, land, fucking debts, or anything, alright? Nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing. Alright? Because that's all stuff that's come in on top of what we are.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like a
All
band.
of that,
Like a
all of
band-aid.
this.
Yeah.
Okay? All my stuff, all your stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
But we need to fucking understand that. Right?
Mm.
Because so many don't. And they get to a certain age and it's over. See ya. You know what I mean? But what was it all for? What was the point?
Listen, I can cut in here. These gurus and all these spiritual people that find this awareness, live it, detach, are all believing in something hereafter, either be reincarnation or one with oneness of the universe. They're not agnostic, they're not even atheists, they're really spiritual people. You take away that spiritual depth of understanding that there may be something hereafter, you take that away, what's the point? Why not live your life to the fullest and have your riches and glory and give to the poor, hopefully, just to make you feel good or something? What happens if there is no hereafter belief or reincarnation or some salvation? Nothing. What the hell is life meditating in a cave? May get to levitate, whoopee-doo. Why do we do it? We're thinking something beyond this world. Because we ourselves are detaching from the world within us and all the stuff and all that materialism. And we're hoping to arrive somewhere where we started the journey before we were even freaking born. Remember, God said he knew Jeremiah before he was born? Spirit. He said to Job, he never existed in the pre-existence. Soul. Difference. Spirit cannot be killed. It's eternal. God breathed in and became a living soul. Soul did not come from anywhere before this life, but spirit did. That's how I see it. I've had an accident, you've had an accident. You had a near-death angel, I did too. Something tells me it's true and there is a place that we're arriving at. And you're not going to get there through religion because it's going to add things. It's going to put things in front of you, distract you, pay tithes, all this mega rich. It's about letting go of all of it and being happy. But then again, in the soul, there's happiness that comes to an end, was never really happiness. spirit is joy beyond happiness. It's got feelings. It's not wickedly deceptive heart. The Bible warns against, and it's higher level. I've touched upon it through my music, as you noticed.
That's it. You just, touched. Now, you've touched something. I've touched something. And they've asked a lot of people. A lot of them would, if we're going to be honest, they say, yeah, at certain times in their life they've touched something too. What we're talking about, even just once in their life.
Once in their life.
A lot of people would say, yeah, they've touched something. So, we know there's something to touch. We've been told for thousands of years there's something to touch.
Yeah.
But all I see right now is that no one's touching it. Where you and me aren't touching it, no one's touching it. So, what are we supposed to do when no one's touching it, but we think that there's something to touch? And at this age, all I'm trying to...
We touched it on the accident.
Starting to think, well, if I haven't touched it by now, I'm not going to touch it. It's over, it's too late. This is basically what I'm talking about when I first came in, okay?
Yeah.
At this age, most people aren't... They think, if I haven't touched it by now, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a cruise, I'm just going to retire.
Yeah.
Die, all right? Yeah. But I'm talking about the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
That
the opposite.
I'm talking about the bus trip.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
That's
the refreshing, childlike bus trip. I'm excited.
There's something to touch.
Passion for life, the rhythm of life.
Still got that feeling that there's something to touch because they touched it.
Yeah.
And they did too at once, but it's too hard now.
Too hard.
Right? So I'm not feeling that it's too hard. And I feel good about that. Are you feeling like that?
Yeah, because I'm a musician, I get to express it. But it's still metaphorical, but it touches the hearts of many. Music speaks many languages. But where do I go with it?
Not just with the music, but within yourself. Do you feel like...
well, you got to remember, you and I are gnostic and go back to the Essenes. It's nothing to do with religion anymore. It's to do with we don't have enough lifetimes to get it right. And the very rich ones, the billionaires, they've had their chance. They're on the last life.
See, this is where... Okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah, this is amazing stuff. If you've got it in this life, surely in the next life you'll be a king, a prince.
This is where I know you... I know this is kind of shaky ground for you, right? But I'm going to say it because I've said it several times, but I don't...
Hold your thought for 1 second. Let's go do a bit. Okay, fire away, Professor Zach.
I want to hear this.
This whole idea of time, as I said several times, I understand forever is now, we're in forever, okay?
Yeah.
Now, the thought is that now the understanding from certain people is that we can get physically younger. Okay, we can physically make ourselves younger. All right, So in other words, we can do miracles.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's just what Jesus did. He did miracles, okay? Things that people didn't understand. Right?
Yep.
Now, so that's a hint. It hints at what we can be. Alright? And this is my only question to the universe. The only question I ever had to the universe is what can I actually be? What can a man be? What am I supposed to be? It can't be this or my...
Was it Shakespeare that said
situation.
to be or not to be? Was that Shakespeare? To be or not to be? We're all actors on the stage, acting it out. All playing a role.
But I'm talking about on a spiritual plane. What were we supposed to be? In other words, we're all. That's why I use Enoch as a role model.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was something about him that that got him approved of him.
Yeah.
The way he lived his life, the way he was being, what was he being, you know, it's the message in Genesis is that God wanted to be with us. Okay, right with us. He wanted to be there. Okay?
Yep.
Right at the beginning.
Yep.
Okay? So we're supposed to, and then there's let us make man in our image. Alright? So we're supposed to, originally we were supposed to be something. Now, so did that original design, did that mean that we were supposed to be this thing that's consumed with all these thoughts of life, hunger, death, pain, grief, anger?
Or as the Bible says, all for our own good.
Bible. But is that what it was all about?
All for our own good. Suffering. Where the Buddhists try to escape the suffering. Who's right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that there's not supposed to be any suffering, right? Originally there wasn't supposed to be any suffering. It's supposed to just be in the garden with God, with no suffering. So that was the original plan, according to Genesis, right?
Yeah.
It's just supposed to be in the garden, hanging out with God, all right? So obviously we're not. Our body now is not in the garden hanging out with God. But what we were, what was created, we are still what was created. Alright? But something within us is not in the garden. Right? But the thing that was in the garden is still in us.
Yeah.
We are still that thing.
Yeah, there's a book called Back to Eden, how to get back into the spirit of the garden where the natural man's an enemy of God. Yeah.
What we're supposed to be. Right? Now, there's so few people that can actually have a rational conversation about this. For some reason, it's like, I love talking to you about this stuff because you kind of just get my wavelength, and it helps me to nail it down because I'm learning. When we have these conversations, I try to learn from it.
But just remember this, mate. Forever learning in the soul, but in the spirit, we already know. I mean humbly. We are to become the grandest, best version of ourselves. We're already have arrived. It's just
To me, we've got to learn how to get rid of stuff.
get rid of that soul level where
addictions and everything.
I know.
We've got to, We've got to, until we do, it's not going to happen.
Not going to influence the world.
That's what I'm going to say. It's not. We're not going to get there. We have to understand that. And at this age, most people, it's over. It's
Just
too
over.
late. But I'm not thinking that. That's the last thought in my mind. My point of this conversation is to how to get there. Because I've got bus trip thoughts in my head and I'm keeping them there. Right? I'm keeping them there. Whereas the other one at this age, there's no bus trip tomorrow. Okay? That trip's been cancelled.
Yeah.
But I've got the bus trip in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping it there.
Rather than let the passion be over.
You see, I could choose to have that. I could choose to kill the bus trip, right? It's my choice. Everything is choice. And I'm choosing not to because I'm liking the feeling. And it reminds me a little bit of when I touched the day, when I touched something, when I touched the sky, you know? It's the same though.
It's beyond flesh.
The chemicals that are produced, I can feel those chemicals being produced.
Yeah.
It's those thoughts. And if we can have those thoughts, if we can replace, if we've got a dodgy thought going on, we can replace
So the world should be releasing those dopamines spiritually rather than sexually or the world.
Exactly.
Because that's built in us.
The
Cortisone, stress release, all that. The Gnostics teach not to spill the seed, hold back for as long as you can, build it into a spiritual level, probably stay away from porn and all that sort of thing, because that's all slutty, low-level stuff.
Low frequency stuff.
I'm not saying I'm against release, but it should be a built-up high level, not every friggin' day.
Stuff just keeps us in the low frequency.
And women go for men who are all sex addicts and crazy fuckers, you know?
See, they've got a lot to learn too, you know what I mean?
And they think they're holy.
But for you and me, we need to understand now that that's, if we're serious about this, this is what we have to do, this is what we're going to have to do.
Yeah.
And one of the good things about the internet and YouTube is that one of the themes coming through from all the sincere ones that are putting stuff out there about this is that they're all admitting that it's uncomfortable, right?
It is.
So it's not just by hearing all that. When it starts to get uncomfortable, at least you can tell yourself earlier, well, it's working. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's not just me. It's them as well. It's something that happens. So we've got some backup.
Even a true Christian point of view, we're supposed to be struggling against sin, not making it a lifestyle of lust and all these things that the world justifies.
Yeah, we're supposed to be repenting.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah.
And if we're not doing that, how can anyone say, oh, I'm one of the chosen?
Yeah,
we're not doing that.
We're supposed to be repenting.
It doesn't matter if somebody's got light shining out of their ass. It's like you say, sanctimonious. They may think that they're on fire, but they're doing things that completely justify the ways of the world.
Which is why we've got a world full of
religion and no Son of God.
Yeah, exactly.
So the gum flappers, they think they've got the truth. They don't. They rip you off. They're money hungry. They want your tithes. They want to control you. They tell you what is right, wrong, and you got no thinking capacity or choice.
And we're surrounded by religious people, and you can take a 1 minute walk from this position and find a homeless person sleeping outside the shop, covered in a sleeping bag. Okay? With all these wealthy fucking do-gooders and movers and shakers, homeless people out there in the cold.
Yeah.
This is hell. We don't need another hell. We're in it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the messages that's coming through on YouTube is that people like you and I need to wake up,
Yep.
because obviously most of the people are asleep.
For life.
Yeah, but they're the ones with all the talking, flapping their gums.
Yep.
All right, and nothing's happening. It's just getting worse. So you and I are going to understand that. All right. Now, what do we want for ourselves? See, I'm asking myself this question. It's not just, I don't know anything. What do we want for ourselves? Now, because if it's not over, then obviously this is where everything must have been leading up to this right now, sitting here. Okay? So if it's not over, then there's something else to come, which is what we're talking about.
Yep.
Understanding what we can really be. And there are so few people that you can talk to that can sit in this room and talk honestly and humbly about what we can be, because that involves humility and gratitude before God. Before the source, okay? It's got to start there. All right?
Yeah.
But the ego hates humility.
I know. Doesn't it ever?
Oh yeah, because it's not part of it. Because it's concerned with itself. So that's why we've got to. That's the last thing we need to be listening to, is anything in our head. So we need to learn how to, get back to what we.
Well, let's say, with all the knowledge and wisdom that you have now, after all these years, just say your mother, which she wasn't, she was a lovely lady. Just say if she was an antichrist on the day you were born, and you grew up and you discovered all this wisdom, and all she does is preach everything against what you're believing and teaching and sharing. Do you detach from your mother? Because the Bible says, hate your mother and father, hate your kids, love God more or something. Otherwise you're not worthy. I mean, how do you detach from people that are part of your bloodline family?
Like you said, honour your mother and father.
You honour your mother and father. It said...
I know, but he who loves his father more than me.
Yeah. So you can't completely be free, because that would be cutting off from your own mother.
No, you shouldn't make this hypothetical, mate, because it just confuses things, right?
Right.
I know you always do this.
Hypothesis.
Tendency.
Yeah, it is.
So, it's something that you need to get control of. And this brings us back to this whole thing about how we can learn to be what we're supposed to be, and it seems to be all in getting control. Now, there are so many areas that we need to get control of, but you start with whatever little win you can get at. Every little win is a win. So, for instance, just this idea that I'm determined to keep the bus trip thing alive, and it's still there, and I'm doing it, I'm keeping it there. That's a win. Just that. Cleaning my kitchen, it's a win. Alright? It's a win. Because this moment, I've said this so many times, but this moment is just as special as the moment at the end of the 1,000-mile journey when you get understanding and you get free. Well, that moment is no different than the moment. It could have been this moment before the journey that you got that understanding. You didn't need any particular moment to get his understanding. It took his journey to get that understanding. But it could have been any of those moments where he had that understanding. It just happened to be that particular one at the end of that journey. But it could have been this moment at the beginning of the journey. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the moment that was keeping him from it. It was him.
Wow.
Right?
Ego.
Well, whatever. That is his, like, whatever he needed to go on, whatever he needed to learn on that journey, okay? That's what was keeping him from the understanding. It wasn't the moment itself. The moment always had it there for him. There was no difference between that moment and the moment at the end of the journey when he got understanding. It was him that changed, not the moment.
Which is the natural man, the enemy of God.
But, well, yeah, but it was him that changed, not the moment.
No.
So
always
this
there.
moment is as good as any moment to change.
Yeah.
Could be right now.
And
we
you-
could get understanding and enlightenment. It doesn't need.
So
to
what
be-
are we waiting for?
That's exactly what are we waiting for. This moment is as good as any moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're all special. We might not get another one. Right? We don't know. We've got 30 seconds that we know of. Okay, this might be the last few moments we ever get.
Wow.
So
That's a wake up, isn't it?
but there's no this moment could be the moment. At any moment could be the moment. And just because we miss them is not the fault of the moment. The moment is standing there with its arms open. But if we walk past with our eyes closed, it's not the fault of the moment. It's us walking past with our eyes closed. Until finally one day we decide at the end of our journey to open our eyes and see the moment. Right? That's been standing there like this the whole time. And that's what I've touched. That moment standing there with its arms open, I've touched it.
Yeah.
It's there, I know. Alright?
Yeah.
And this is where you lose most people in the conversation, I think. Because it's just, well, I'm not touching it, I can't touch it, I don't know how to touch it.
The luminous light. And yet the bad guys, the Illuminati, go for the luminous light of satanic power.
Yeah, well, the light bearer thing, saying that comes from
Deception light, yeah.
See all that stuff, the light bearer, the Illuminati stuff, it comes from Satan being the bright morning star, the light
Yeah.
bearer and that. But we don't agree that
No.
that's definitely what happened. Right?
No.
So all of that stuff that they based that
The
on.
Gnostic
Well,
teaching.
that's your theosophy, all that stuff that's based on the Old Testament stuff.
Yeah.
The story of the Old Testament. It might be all dodgy.
That's right.
Or it might not have been that at
Satan
all.
was never in heaven. How could heaven corrupt itself?
Yeah, that's right. So
Who could be
and
alive
that's
from the
why-
beginning? No.
And the whole people that wrote all those books and everything based on that story of the devil in the Bible. But what if that was
Another version.
Then all that stuff, all those books,
Stories gone.
buildings and all those,
Gerald, does that mean that the Bible's corrupt?
lectures
If that's
and-
true, which the Gnostics do believe that, if that is true, does that mean the Bible's corrupted?
Well, we talked about this on what we've got is footprints.
Footprints. That's what's important. Wisdom's understandings,
It's in there. He's made sure.
beatitudes on the
his
mouth.
wisdom is in there.
But the rest is just gum flapping, hiding behind the
Or
Bible,
it's
Bible
the
study.
story of
Yeah.
Sludge Boy.
Yep, and shoving the Bible down people's throats, leading them 10 times more to hell. People that are just walking, talking Bible on friggin' legs.
So
Yeah.
my understanding is that two gods wrote the Bible.
That's
what
right.
the
Two
God
Adams,
talks
two gods,
about.
two seeds.
The
It's
two
in
gods
Genesis.
wrote that book,
Mm.
right? But the
Mm.
footprint is in there, definitely in there, right?
So it's a pointer
So-
somewhere.
That's why you and I are in a strange position because we're not going along with the mainstream
No.
understanding of every word, but not every word. is
Not every
there,
word is no.
Which makes it kind of, so
It
the best
makes
thing you and I can do is just to be very quiet about what we're learning and what we're understanding. talk to as few people as possible because
Get
no
mocked.
one's
It's
gonna
mockery.
get this.
Yeah,
They're not
mockery.
going to understand this.
Cast pearls against swine.
But this is something that you and I have been, our life's journey.
And gave up fame and fortune for it,
we
everything.
talk about. So
Yeah.
there's so few people that can actually dial in on this conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Alright?
Yeah.
So it's probably best that we just keep these conversations to ourselves.
But even the ones that talk about it on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell button. It's still ego, still wanting some attention. Give me support. The real persecuted Christians, the light doesn't go out. It might dim a bit because of persecution, but it never goes out. It's eternal flame. They're not seeking any popularity or platforms. They're in the cave. They come out of the cave. They may evangelize a bit and go back. These people on YouTube, including myself for a time, wanting the support and the viewers, and subscribers, they're not there. Because if they were there, they wouldn't need to make those sort of YouTube and say such a thing. I don't care about the viewers. I do care about the viewers, but I don't care about numbers. This is quality. This is stopping and helping a wounded man or a homeless man. Do you do that? What about that woman with the dog? Remember, she was starving and everybody made 1 million views about the dog and neglected the woman. The entertainment of this friggin' world. And keep how the dog got more fame than her. She never, I don't know if she ever got out of her poverty. This is the world. This is sick.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I am not a part of that.
No, not that part of it, no.
No. But many people are. Alright? So we're going to try to reconcile the whole thing. Because there's a huge big, what's the point context could be going on if you allow it. But I'm not allowing it. I'm keeping the bus trip alive. Right? I'm telling what's the point to keep going. There's a bus trip going on, and have to keep choosing that. Right? Have to keep choosing.
And like I mentioned, Paul McCartney just made a video saying, I shouldn't be worried about anything, but I'm worried. And he's not saying I'm missing spiritual or Jesus. He doesn't seem to know where to go next, and he's got everything, billionaire. He doesn't know where to go.
Mate, I heard, he's got billions,
Yeah.
But apparently, at one of his weddings, the guests had to pay for their own drinks. Apparently, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
He made the guests pay for their own drinks. Rich as shit.
Yeah, $5 billion to
So,
his name.
which would explain what you just said then. That
He's not found it. He's the greatest songwriter in history, and he hasn't found it.
he wrote a couple of good songs. I wrote a couple of good songs too, a lot of them, when you listen to a lot of the early stuff, and silly little, I want to hold your hand.
Yeah, silly, yeah.
Silly little ditties.
Ditties and titties.
The world loved it. The kids loved it.
Yeah.
Our parents hated it.
Yeah, my dad did.
Yeah. And the kids loved it because it was different. It was new. It was something different. Right? That's why they loved it, because it was different. And the parents hated it, so they loved it. And it caught on.
Revolution, yeah.
Yeah. So, but originally, and it was catchy. Alright? Music. It was music. People always responded to music from way back. And they responded, a new generation responded to the music being repackaged. Alright? It got repackaged from classical into rock and roll. Got repackaged from classical to blues into rock and roll. And the new generation responded to that. Like in the Beatles song, it's going to backbeat, you can't lose it, right? It's going to be a rock and roll music. So, it's like,
Well, take the irony of Hitler loving Wagner and cry his heart out, grabs that guy from Schindler's List who could play piano, doesn't execute him, puts him on the piano, and he's sitting there drinking wine and a big fat cigar, bawling his eyes out, how beautiful, beautiful music, oh, the creation. And he's a fucking genocide and murderer. How can somebody resonate with such beautiful music that had a bit of a stir in it, because Wagner was pretty strong,
and do that, music just affects people.
Yeah, and yet he can commit to genocide.
Yeah, well, the music affected him.
Yeah.
Because music affects people.
Yeah, yeah.
They can't help it.
Can't help it.
Because music is a separate thing.
Yeah.
The body just responds to it. But it's got nothing to do with the thoughts in his mind to a large extent. The music is it's just affecting, his body is responding to the music because of what music is.
Yeah.
But the thoughts in his mind are another thing. You know what I mean?
Ah.
But he's going to respond to the music.
Is that the spirit
anyway.
In a man? Because all spirit
No,
is...
it's just the power of the music.
Really?
And the creature responding to the power of music.
Wow, even the beast will dance.
But the thoughts in his mind, they're a separate thing.
Ah.
You know, he can choose whatever he wants to think.
Well, it's like Beauty and the Beast. It can be romantic or it can be ugly. It could be a beast a monster, or he could be a Phantom of the Opera. I love the Phantom, love the Beast. Yeah.
Well, it just shows you the power of music, how it can affect the killer. It can affect the psychopath.
Yeah.
They can respond to it. You know.
Remember Mars Attack? That at the end, the guy had the big speaker on his car, and they were bursting. Their brains were coming out, green pus, because the music of the big speaker, they couldn't handle it. The Mars Attack. That's the only thing that could kill them.
I didn't actually see that.
That was a funny movie. Yeah.
I might have seen it. That rings a bell.
And Jack Nicholson stood there and said, he's the President of the United States, can we just get along? And they shook the hand of the alien. The hand comes off the alien, a big skeleton thing, and he just cooks him. Cooks Jack Nicholson, burn him to suit. Nope. We're coming here to Mars Attack. We're coming to take over the planet.
And then he fried Jack Nicholson.
Fried him, yeah. Good movie. The other one was Paul, the alien, the pet alien the kid picked up. It was a nice one, like an E.T. Funny movies. He's trying to hide and everything, you know.
I didn't actually. Was there a lot of swearing in that?
Not really, no, I don't think so.
Paul, I know of it. I saw it at the video shop. Was that good? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like an E.T. thing. Yeah, right. You know, there's over the last few weeks, there's been some high-level people saying that information is about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's interesting because I know I'm not.
No, you're just being very patient.
I've been saying for a long time to people that I'm just saying this to reinforce what I'm about to say. I've been saying for a long time that it's pretty obvious that if there are aliens and the church, was there like the Catholic Church, or the religions know about it, then obviously they don't want people to know about it, right? Because as soon as they do, they know that's the end of them, alright? That's the end of their religion. Okay? Been saying that to people for years, and for him or something, I get the, what are you talking about? I reckon the wife's not obvious, okay? The day that comes on Monday afternoon, make the announcement on Tuesday, that's the end of religion, okay? Anyway, in the last couple of weeks, that's all I've been hearing is that The only reason this is not coming out now is because they're worried that if it comes out, as soon as it comes out, that's going to be the end of religion.
Yep.
Exactly what I've been saying to people for years, and that's exactly what they're saying now, word for word. That's going to be the end of religion, right? So I've got this kind of, I can sort of see things. Always been able to just know, you know, just see the accident.
I see
right?
it. See it.
All this technology and everything. I saw it all coming. Anyway, but that's exactly what they're saying now. So it's like, it feels like a build-up, right? If they're going to start saying that, well, then they're virtually admitting it by them saying, yeah, the only reason we're not telling you is because, so in other words, it's true, but there's a reason why they're not telling us, but we know what it is they're not telling us.
Yeah.
You know, that
all the systems collapse around the world, all worldly systems.
They don't know what would happen. Perhaps once, if all the religions sort of collapsed overnight, maybe there'd be mass anarchy throughout. Maybe all the people in all the countries would just think, okay, if it's aliens, there's no God, let's just all just run amok and do whatever we want. Okay? Because obviously they're going to be considering that as well. They don't know what the reaction globally will be.
Yeah.
Okay? And they don't want to lose whatever they've got.
Control.
Whatever their lifestyle that they manage to get. Okay? Whoever they are, those individuals, they don't want to risk their lifestyle that they've got. That's all these greedy rich people. That's all they think about is themselves and their own family, right? They're going to make sure that them and their family. Okay, so the money people will be holding off for that. The religious people will be holding off because they don't want to lose their authority. So there are, and we know that the Catholics run the CIA. So it's, but there seems to be so much pressure to make an announcement, and just the pressure itself is like clearing the way a little bit. It's lowering the pressure.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been going on for so long now that when they finally do make an announcement, it won't be a real shock to people because we've been sort of hearing about an announcement coming for the last 3 years. So around the world now, people have been listening for a couple of years anyway that it's going to be an announcement, it's going to be an announcement. It's been going on for 2 years, right? So a little bit like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
You know, when there finally was a wolf, everyone just said, there's no wolf, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
But, well, maybe not quite the same right analogy. But when they do make an announcement, and see, this is where this is, because it does seem to be building up to making an announcement. But if they do, well, that's just going to be like the biggest sort of revelation of all time. But the dilemma is a lot of the people that, a lot of the religious people who can accept the idea of aliens, they don't kind of that they can be physical. It is, but if we're all created, right, then there can't be anything unexpected that's going to happen because if we're all created and if aliens come, well then obviously someone made the aliens, the creator made the aliens as well, like a creator creates.
Well, Satan made them.
Well, yeah, but a creator. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
So in other words, it virtually has to be a spiritual. It can't be aliens and a spiritual reality, right? It's going to be one or the other. Because we know that there is a spiritual realm, right? So if an alien appears, somehow that alien is connected with the spiritual realm because there is a spiritual realm.
Yep.
Whereas a pure Darwinian evolutionist would just assume that the alien appeared because it evolved over millions of years and managed to get a whole pile of knowledge about the universe, physically, mechanically, and so far advanced ahead of us, they're able to cross space and get here.
Yeah.
That's how they make it work, alright? But we know that there is a spiritual dimension. It's everything that we've been talking about today. It's what we've touched and all the teachings and everything. There is a spiritual dimension to life, right? So that means that if an alien appears, there is some spiritual component to that alien.
Yeah, species has got a body of some
Well,
description.
no, but it's spiritual. It's either a good one or a bad one.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's spiritual.
Yeah.
It's not a physical thing. Just like we are physical, but we're spiritual as well. We're saying that we're spiritual.
Yeah, I get you.
Well, they are too then, in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if we can see them, if they appear to have bodies, well then they're like us. They have bodies, but they were created. They have some of them creative spirit, driving spirit, animating spirit within them. And just like people on the earth, you get a good one or a bad one, right? So you can have two people, one's a killer, one's a saint. Probably the same with the aliens, right? But just to understand that spiritual life doesn't just mean life on earth, it means the universe. You know, the whole thing. I'm going to have one final ciggy and then I'll be...
Alright, mate. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation.
Oh, have you got one?
One, yeah, sure, brother. Yep.
Right, he brought four with me.